Regional builders function a little bit like public builders, but only at the divisional level. So you might have a collection of communities that all wrap up into one centrally branded name, like ABC Home Builder. Even though there's a variety of different opportunities that are kind of wrapped up inside this enterprise, they're all branded under the same branding identity. One of the big differences between a national builder and a regional builder usually has to do with financing. How are they raising money to do what it is that they need to do? Regional builders usually are heavily reliant on equity partners and debt and equity. So, and as an example of what that might look like is, let's say I'm a home builder and I identify a bunch of home sites I want to buy, or a large piece of acreage that I want to buy and subdivide into different individual home sites, or a community. I might go there and wrap that up with a deposit, write a purchase agreement, and tie it up for a period of time. At which point I'm going to go to my buddy who's an equity guy or an equity partner guy, and that's a group of people that are going to get together and invest in the opportunity that I identified. Now, what's going to happen at that point is I'm going to give up a percentage of my ownership in order to invite that equity partner to participate in the investment that I've identified. At that point, they're probably bringing cash to that situation. So let's say they pay cash for that acreage or cash for those home sites. And we have this partnership that we formed. Now, we have a partnership and we have an asset in there. We can use this asset as collateral to go raise debt so that we can have money to build the houses. Complicated? A little bit, but it's pretty easy to understand and wrap your mind around. Why am I going through the gymnastics of explaining this to you? Because equity people, equity partners are all over the country, and they're an incredibly great prospect. Could you imagine how much influence and understanding and power you might have if you could start prospecting the people that are in your market that are providing equity to these types of opportunities? You might be a really valuable subject matter expert in that place. You might even find yourself putting connections together between equity partners and home builders that you're also prospecting. It's a pretty sweet deal. We're going to talk more about this later on, but I just kind of want to give you an idea of why you would want to focus on a regional builder. Now, another part of being a regional builder is they may or they may not have their own in-house sales team. Ding, 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 another opportunity. If they don't have their own in-house sales team, how are they marketing and selling their homes? Well, they're probably doing it with a company, and maybe they're doing it with a real estate company, and maybe that person should be you, ultimately. A lot of times they have their own contract, but not always, so there's some similarities there and some differences. They might be using the pre-printed forms that you're already accustomed to. And also, a lot of times, they're a little bit more flexible in what they're able to do in terms of customer satisfaction, and they might be more willing to make changes to the property than a large public. So there's some really unique attributes to regional builders. A lot of times, regional builders started little, and so big things come from little beginnings. And many times what you're going to find is this larger regional builder was maybe a local builder who 5, 10, 20 years down the road ended up becoming really large. Some of the other subtleties that are associated with regional builders, many times, it started out as a family business. Like maybe grandpa started this 25 years ago and now the grandkids are operating the home builder. And there are challenges and also opportunities associated with this type of platform and staging. If it's a well-established family in your location that's doing this, there's going to be additional opportunities to meet people to potentially get involved. Single-use or special-use LLCs or LLPs are sometimes the structure, or most likely the structure, around a real estate development or a housing development community that is special use to location or purpose. So let me give you an example of that. You drive downtown, you're having breakfast, and you look over and you see this big sign and it says Downtown Lofts. Downtown Lofts. It's exciting, right? So what is that? That's someone who found an opportunity to do some sort of development or redevelopment in a specific location for a specific purpose. You're not always going to see a national branding identity on it. You're probably not even going to see a local or a regional branding identity on it. It's going to be branded around the purpose and the use. Again, there's some great opportunities here because it'd be really kind of rare if these people have their own in-house sales team, which means they're going to be reliant on the real estate community to market and sell these homes. Huge opportunity there for you to get involved. And in doing so, you're going to make these additional connections because you're probably going to have to get involved with the project management of this location. It's fascinating, but many of these single-use LLCs are run by project managers. Some of these project managers have a lot of real estate development experience, but they don't really have any experience when it comes to sales, marketing, product development. What's the desirability? What are the market trends? What do people want to buy? What are the customers out there thinking about fit and finish and cabinet design and all of these different things? It's easier for you to get involved with this type of group than it is for you to get involved with a large public company at that point in the process. Why? Because these LLCs being managed by a project manager are just out there coordinating vendors. So they're coordinating the contractors for concrete and masonry and 2x4s and electrical contractor, plumbing contractor. The sales and marketing team is just another vendor. So this person is already kind of programmed in their mind, I don't do the work, right? I coordinate other people to do the work. I coordinate the capital. I coordinate the debt to do this thing. I'm a project manager. And so as a real estate professional, you're just going to fill a slot. And there's already a slot waiting for you. All you have to do is go knock on the door and get involved in that location. Finally, we get to my favorite kind of builder, and that's a guy or a gal with a pickup truck and a general contractor's license. These people are absolutely operating all over the place. They might be doing fix and flip. They might be doing one house at a time. They may have grown to do 1 or 2 or 3 homes simultaneously or someplace in between. There's a huge opportunity for you to get involved with this group because they don't have their own sales and marketing team, and they don't have their own operations staff, and they don't have any of this other stuff. They're out there doing all the work themselves. They're coordinating all the money themselves. They're raising the capital. They're many times out there swinging a hammer. And so they are very, very hands-on. As a real estate professional, this group of home builders is more reliant on you than you could ever imagine. Think about all the risk that's associated with being a single party person building a house and just hoping, gosh, I don't know, I hope it sells at some point. I hope I make some money. Sometimes they'd have no idea how much money they're going to make until after the property sells and they clear all their debt, and they're left they're left with enough to buy lunch, maybe, depending on kind of where the market is going. A lot of times these folks are really reliant on the market going up in order for them to make money, because they might be out of control of process and system, and their expenses run over, and maybe they built a home that doesn't really in alignment with what people are looking for to buy in this market. Gosh, as a real estate professional, you can weigh in on this person's process and their system. You might want to help them understand fit and finish. In fact, you might want to get really involved with their fit and finish and just let them know that, hey, here's what the trend is. You know, people aren't really buying heavy, ugly travertine floors any longer, but hey, 1995, that was a big thing. So if they don't understand fit and finish, they might be producing a product that's going to have marketing challenges toward the end. As a professional, you can get involved and you can help this person, and I highly recommend that you seek them out. In a later chapter, we're going to tell you how to put that prospect list together so you can identify these people and find opportunities. So the homework, if you choose to participate, is I want you to make a list of regional and local builders that are operating in your market. You can use the MLS to leverage this up, and in fact, it's probably a really great place to start. Do a home search in your market of properties that were built this year or maybe the prior year. So now you've got a 24-month window or database or search criteria of homes that are built in the last 2 years. Go there, make the list, and start doing some investigating. You're going to be able to find the listing agent pretty easily. Probably going to be able to find the buyer representative pretty easily. But with a little additional investigation, you're going to see a chain of custody on the title, and maybe there's some transaction history in there. And so maybe the first transaction was for $150,000, and then there was another transaction 2 years later, and it was for $500,000. Huh. Probably the first transaction was the land purchase. If you go in there and see the ownership, many times it's going to be an LLC or something similar to that. It's going to give you maybe a little tip of understanding of, oh, who that person is. You can always go to your, go back to the internet and then take a look up the LLC. It's going to be associated with a corporation. They probably have corporate filings. There's going to be a corporate director that is part of that. Bada boom, bada bang. Now, it takes a little bit of investigating, but as you do the work and put this list together, it's going to be incredibly valuable, and it's all going to condition you in a process. All right, get that done, get started on that, and I will see you in the next chapter.